So it's been a while since I last picked this thing up, and as you can imagine, a few things have happened since then. Agmax has continued its onslaught on the community. Several farmers who weren't offered deals saw what was coming, and they put their farm up for sale anyway. They decided to head for greener pastures instead of try to fight a conglomerate like Agmax. Overall, I can't say I blame them. They were older, more worn out, and if I'm being frank, not as aggressive in business as they needed to be these days. The country life sure is the best life, but it still has its share of changes. Most things out here are written agreements and lawyers anymore. Gone are the days of the firm handshake and the look in the eye. People don't just help one another out anymore. It was sad to see Sam leave the area. In the short time that I knew him, he acted as a mentor to me. I always knew I could go to him with a question, or that one time I relied on him for a ride home. Sam was a good neighbor and someone who I'm happy took the money and ran. Justin told me he was winding down anyway, so it seemed like the perfect time to cash out and collect on that retirement for Sam. I get that. At the end of the day, we're all out here in the field just trying to make money. But with Sam selling out to Agmax, that meant that Agmax were now my new neighbors. As you can imagine, there were plenty of rumors going on about what Agmax would do with Sam's farm. In a community this small, rumors tend to fly around. But right now the popular belief is they're going to use Sam's farm to hold cows. Beyond that, nobody's really clear. And if I'm being honest, I don't even know if that came from a credible source. People just tend to make things up for the attention out here. Small town life.
Well, guys, I think the boss is going to be happy with this. We got 3 truckloads yesterday. We got the final 2 loads here today. I just wanted to thank you both. I don't know. Agmax buying up all these farms lately. It's hard to find a private farmer anymore.
Oh, don't get me started. We'll be here all day.
Well, we appreciate you coming out and helping us with the transport. I mean, obviously we're set up for transporting things, but this has certainly saved us a lot of time, I'll say that.
Oh, no worries from our end. Like I said, you guys wouldn't believe how hard it is to buy simple things like hay anymore. These Agmax guys have certainly made it harder for the cotton farmer.
Oh, but you haven't heard their commercial? We're for the common man and the career farmer.
Yeah, well, they're taking the career of some more farmers than they're helping out.
Well, to be honest, we were going to sell all this to the livestock barn, but then Agmax made a deal that was too good to be true for them, and they started buying their hay from them. Exclusively.
Yeah, anymore it seems like it's us against the corporations. I don't know. That part makes me really uneasy for the future.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thanks again, man. I mean, I know you got a little bit of a trip back. Speaking of that, how far are you? An hour away?
Yeah, about that. Maybe an hour and a half, but isn't that crazy? 60 to 90 minute trip to get simple hay? All right, guys, I should get on the road speaking of that. But thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, you too, and have a safe trip.
All right, so today we have a lot to do, and before we get started, I'd like to go down to town, down to McGregor. I did see in the newspaper that there was a listing for a tedder, so I need a tedder, and I wanted to see if we'd be able to buy one, because I'm telling you, the Agmax thing is getting a little ridiculous. It's hard to find equipment. The next town over is very small, so it's really nothing. The other town over is Prairie du Chien, which it has an auction house, but it doesn't have any place to rent or to buy equipment. And as much as it bothers me to say this, Agmax does know what they're doing. They have made it very hard for me to do common things that, might take a couple minutes or, an hour, let's just be honest, about an hour to go down to the store, grab something and come back. I mean, that's how I know Justin. And that was working out very well for us until Agmax came in and purchased everything. Because when they purchased everything, that's when they made everything harder. That's when they purchased all the farms around the area. So I think their whole plan was to get all of the farms. That way the farmers couldn't help one another out. A divide and conquer sort of scheme. And there's Sam's place up there. Do miss him. But Yeah, a divide and conquer kind of scheme so that, we can't help one another out. And, speaking of Sam, I really don't mind what Sam did. I mean, he's an older guy, or a lot of these farmers. I get it. They're older. They're ready to stop doing the farming because their body's ready for them to stop doing the farming. I understand all of that. I understand wanting to retire. As I said, we are all just a bunch of people in the fields trying to make some money. And if a company comes over and offers you more money than you could make in, I guess, your lifetime, if you really think about how old these farmers are, then you're going to take it. And I understand why they did that. It's just, I'm not mad at the individual people. I'm just mad at the situation. I'm mad at the corporation coming in. And I mean, I don't know if I'm just going to say wrecking a community, because I think that's what they're doing. I think they're wrecking this community. And oh yeah, I haven't even told you about the grocery store that they've got. The Agmax grocery store. It's supposed to help all local farmers, whatever ones there are left. All the local farmers are able to go down there and sell their produce. And I haven't even looked because I already know that they are undercutting anybody that comes there. Most of it's just their stuff anyway. And it's cheaper, so people go there because, again, I can't blame them or their situation. Everybody has to make enough money to pay their bills, and if you can make that grocery bill cheaper, I don't know why you wouldn't. So it's tough. It's tough being out here. It's tough being one of the only farmers out here because I'm not a farmer. I mean, I am, but by trade, but really by lifestyle, I'm not a farmer. I'm still trying to learn all this. And now that I look at the future, I'm really not sure what to make of all of this, because it's going to be an uphill battle. And I'm glad that Justin's on my side for sure, because he has helped a ton so far with both the transport jobs, with the financial part of it, and also just the expertise, knowing people, the connections. He's been everything. So I'm very happy to have him, but at the same time, I am also staring at how steep the hill is that we're going to have to climb, and it's going to be a tough one. Now, this guy lives over here, and I don't know why someone would have a tedder over here, but this is the address he gave me. Let's see, 16, 14, that one's coming around the right, there should be 12. That's what we're looking for. There's the tedder right there. Alright, well, I will get in here and I will see about this tedder, because I'm very interested. It would help us out quite a bit. I guess I'll just go up and knock on his door. And, I don't know, I guess we'll see.
Hey there. How can I help you?
Hey, how you doing, sir? My name's Hurd. I saw the tedder out here for sale. I was just looking to get some more information on it.
Oh, yeah, the tedder. It's surely been helpful over the years, I'll tell you that. It was my son's. He farmed with that for years, and he used to hay with it, but I don't know, he had a small hay farm up in Prairie du Chien. Well, that was up until a few months ago, I guess. He moved out of the area recently, just trying to sell off what he didn't really have time to sell before he left. I'm not sure how long you've been out here. You don't look too familiar, but the big company around the corner there, Agmax, they bought the farm out.
Yeah, I just moved out here a few months ago. I took over my grandfather's farm up in McGregor. Actually, sadly, I think I'm the last farm left in McGregor.
Ah, okay. Well, did Agmax offer to buy your farm?
Yeah, but my grandpa wasn't really interested in selling. He wanted to keep the farm in the family, which I guess is why I'm out here. He moved south a few years ago, and now he's enjoying the retired life. I'm just hoping his stubbornness isn't going to end up costing me. It's already hard to find anyone to sell out here. The grocery store they built, is people coming now there because of the discounts, and they're not really buying from farm stands anymore. And there's no farmers to buy from anymore, which means I can't sell any more hay. So, I don't know. I'm just starting to think it's the end of the farming community in the UMRB.
Well, I know you didn't ask, but I feel like I should recommend selling to your grandfather. I have it on good authority that Agmax is coming in here to pretty much own the entire area. They want to own it all. I'm just not sure if any individual can take on that corporation.
Well, I guess I'm going to unfortunately be the one who finds out because my grandfather is pretty stubborn. I know I'm up against it, but I'm not really sure what else I can do. I don't really have a career job waiting for me, not in a corner office anywhere, so I guess I'm just going to have to figure out now and try not to starve.
Well, look, I don't need to be a downer. I just felt like you should know everything I do. I mean, look, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for small farmers over this corporation, that's for sure. I've lived in the UMRV my entire life. Now, as for the tedder, I'll give you a good deal on it because I sympathize with your situation and I want you to survive. I want small town farmers to survive in this area. Let's see here.
All right, well, he ended up making me a good deal on the tedder. He ended up being right on that. So I am going to take the tedder and, not take it, buy it. But yeah, we're going to buy the tedder and that's going to help us out a lot in the fields. Again, there's no one to get any equipment from here. So we're going to have to buy everything. It's going to be an expensive venture, but at the end of the day, I guess that's the only option we have. All the rental companies are too far out of town and I'm just not able to drive all that way just to do that. So buying it is going to be the easier and cheaper option. Not right now, but in the long term, it will pay for itself. So I guess we're going to do that. Now, the tedder is not huge, as you saw, but at the end of the day, it's better than nothing. I mean, that's really the only thing I have, but it's better than nothing. But either way, we're going to pretend that I didn't just drive through that red light. I think that light was red, but the cops didn't see, and don't act like you haven't done it before. So let's go and get some gas really fast because we're getting low. But yeah, the guy told me, talking about his son leaving the UMRV and how he sold off his farm. It's just, it's a story that repeats itself around here quite a bit. And now I'm starting to be known as the farmer, and it's pretty intimidating since I am really not a farmer, as we've discussed before. So I don't know. There's a lot of history with farming in this area, and this corporation in just one summer, under a summer really, has taken it over, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot for people to deal with. It's a lot for people to see their neighbors move south and move out of the area. Change is hard, but it's harder when the entire area that you grew up in is changing so fast. But either way, we are going to get up to the farm, and I will pick this back up when we get closer. Alright, now we're getting closer to the farm. We're just on the road here that we live on, and I have to get over to Justin's today. The reason is I have to bale up all of the grass that we did in the last episode, and I'm going to collect it, hopefully, by either this time or next time. I'm not really sure because it is a drive to get over to Justin's, and I just take the tractor over, which is about an hour over to Prairie du Chien with a tractor, so I'm not really sure how much time I'm going to be able to have today, but I do know that we are going to have to bale all that up, and I know it's going to rain here in a couple days, so we're going to have to get that done. I at least want to get it baled up so that hopefully today, but more likely tomorrow, we'll be able to collect all the bales, and then we'll be able to actually get some money here. But let me get inside real quick, and I see my grandfather called me, so I will give him a shout here in a minute. I just want to get inside and put everything down and just hang out for a minute, man. I have been driving, I have been collecting bales this morning, I've been doing everything. I just want to drink. Alright, drink in hand, and let me just sit down here, and I'll give him a ring real quick. I haven't talked to him in a minute, so be nice to hear from him again. Dial it up.
Heard, how you doing up there?
Gramps, I'm doing good. Just got done selling our first loads of hay. Justin and I have been in the fields collecting the hay we mowed earlier, so I don't know. I'm still thinking that we can get one more cutting in before the season ends on us.
Well, I don't think that that's going to matter all that much anymore. You know I'm a stubborn old man. You know how much I love the farm up there.
Gramps, what are you talking about?
I sold the farm, Herd.
What?
Boy, they were offering me more money than I'd ever thought it would be worth. At some point, you have to put your stubbornness aside and realize that selling's the best thing. Listen, it's nothing you did. I'm proud of you for all of you learned up there. You gave it your all, and without the company moving in here, I think you would have been successful. This corporation is out for blood, and they'll get it. And they're too big not to.
I mean, I was ready to fight for this place. This was a farming town. The community supported farming, supported its neighbors, and then a company comes in offering groceries for 25% less and offering farmers 25% more for the value of their farms. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right with me.
Heard you did fight, and it's like that song. The times they are changing. This is taking career farmers out of the area. They realize that farming isn't going to pay the bills if they don't become a huge farm. They sold, and now we're going to sell too. I love the UMRV, but sometimes you just have to know when to pack up and to move out. I think that time is now.
Well, it was a good time farming this place, and there's a lot of memories we created when I was younger out here in these fields. I just wish we could have farmed it together, but farming the same land for even a cycle of hay was something that, I don't know, it just made the whole move out here worth it.
Well, I thank you for keeping it going, Herd. You did a great job.
Thanks, Gramps. How long do I have to move out of here?
Well, I still have to send the papers, but the closing date isn't for another few weeks. I wanted to give you as much time as I could to get everything up and out of there. These guys wanted to close the next day the papers got there. At least I fought them on that.
Well, thankfully we have a transportation business as part of this farm, so we're able to move everything out. And I'll start working on all that today, but I also need to get the hay baled over at Justin, and I still need to tell Justin everything's going on, so I don't know. I'll let him know after I get off the phone with you. I got to get over there anyway, so I'm sure I'll talk to him.
How much money did you end up making off of all that hay?
Around 10,000. I think it was actually like 9,630 or something like that.
Well, that's a great payday. Good work.
Thanks. Yeah. We're getting ready to make at least that on the next one too, if we were gonna do it.
Well, Herd, I guess for me, waiting to be the last farm really paid off. They paid me $800,000 for the farm and made me write a condition that I wouldn't farm in the UMRV for 2 years.
Wow, 800,000? Isn't that place only worth 6?
I don't even think it's worth that. They just want us gone. So for that price, gone is what we will be.
Yeah, no problem, Gramps. Like I said, I'm just happy to, you let me come out here and farm this land for the summer.
Now, what do you think you're going to do?
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure at the moment. I'll have, to sell the equipment off at the auction, like I said, but then probably take the money and, I don't know, get an apartment somewhere. I'm not really sure. One thing's for sure, though, I don't really want to stick around here and watch Agmax take the community over. I guess I'll just go back to working in the factory and, I don't know, trying to save some money up to get some land.
Well, Herd, I've been thinking this over since agreeing to sell the farm, and I'm an old man. I've got very little worries with money. When your grandma passed, I got some money, and when I sold the other fields, I got more money. And what I'm trying to say is I'll be fine. But I want to make sure you didn't come up to that farm for no reason. I think you have potential to get good at this, and the life I created for myself, it's second to none. Guess what I'm trying to say is I want to help you buy another farm, Herd. Your farm.
What?
But for now, I have to go. I will be in touch. Take care, Herd. Sorry for the disturbing news.
All right, well, that was an interesting conversation, and I guess sometimes life changes that quickly on you, but I don't know. For right now, I do know that I have to go get them bells because I'm going to get paid off of them regardless of if we keep the farm or not, which sounds like we're absolutely not going to keep the farm. And I don't know. I guess that's a bummer, but at the end of the day, if I'm being honest, a corporation like Agmax has so much more money than we do, so it would have been hard for us to stay afloat. I realize that. And it would have been harder for us to stay afloat here than the average farmer. And the average farmer already has a hard enough time. So I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of at a loss for words right now. I think I'm too close for that right now. Let me get in and just... Let me see. I'm not focusing here. Honestly, I'm just really lost for words of what I'm supposed to think right now. I woke up this morning and I thought, okay, let's bale some hay and let's sell some hay and let's just try to fight, this big corporation. Let's see if we can just make money enough to survive. Let's run a transportation business in the UMRV as well. And now I'm going to bale for most likely the last time in this area, and it's something to think about. It could always be the last time, and this I think will be. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with the money. I'm not really sure how Justin's going to take all of this. I mean, we just started this venture, and now it has come to an end because, and again, I don't blame him, but my grandfather sold the farm. For $200,000 more than the farm is even worth. That is how much money this corporation has to throw around. And this was just one farm. They also bought all the other farms in the area. So it's really, I think just the chips are stacked against us for sure. And as much as I never wanted to admit that, as much as I wanted to make this thing work, I'm not really sure if it's going to work. And it's all coming down, and it always usually does come down to money. And money is something that I don't really have a lot of. If you remember, I came from a warehouse, and I was a manager there, but it doesn't make as much as a Fortune 500 company, unfortunately. Or I would never be out here. Let's just be honest about that. But I came out here to save the family farm, and I guess in the end, I did until my grandfather wanted to sell it. So I didn't lose it. My grandfather was able to profit more off of it, and I have to wonder if that was the deal the whole time. He was just holding out for more money. I don't know. I really don't know a lot about all of this. I just know that Sam left. I know that the UMRV's farming community left. And now it looks like we're leaving, and I'm not really sure if Justin's going to leave or not. I know that will probably be an uphill battle. I'll certainly offer it to him because we were running a farm just fine here, and it was doing good until Agmax. That's really going to be the story, I think, of the UMRV is until Agmax, because Agmax is the thing that honestly ripped the heart out of this community, and let's not get in an accident. We have to sell this tractor, and that's the thing too. Are we going to sell this tractor? We're going to have to. This is my grandfather's tractor. I at least want to keep the truck, but I'm not sure if the tractor is going to be able to make it. And now he's talking about my own farm. I'm not really sure what kind of farming he has in mind. I don't know if it's up to me, I mean, of course, my life is up to me, but I'm not really sure how much money I'm going to have to invest in things. So if I have minimal amounts of money, then I'm going to have to do some chicken farming. But if I have a good amount of money, which, again, I'm not really sure. He left the details very sparse, but if I have a good amount of money, maybe I'll be able to set something up. And I think that's what I'm finding. I mean, if we have a small farm, then I'm going to need an off-farm job because it's going to be expensive. But if we do have some money, if we do have some money to put into this farm, then I think that it could be successful. I think that there's enough people that could help in another town, hopefully, that I could make this successful. I think that we've learned a little bit this summer, and of course, there's a ton more. I mean, we're going to be learning until, we drop dead, but I think we've learned enough to where we can maybe keep a farm together, at least a hay farm. I know I could do. That's mowing grass and selling things. But the problem is we have to find an area that has a lot of farmers, because this area right here did have a lot of farmers, and as you can see, they change quite a bit very fast. But anyway, we're headed up to Justin's. We're going to bale this hay because we're going to make some money off this hay, and I'm really nervous because I'm not really sure what I'm going to tell Justin. All I know is that I'm nervous to tell him. Justin's been living in this community his whole life. His first job was at the farm store that is now Agmax. That's why when he got fired, that was not a fun day. It's not a fun day to get fired, but it's also not a fun day to get fired from your first job ever, and the only job he ever knew. He liked it there. He likes it here, but I'm not really sure how much he will like it here, because the change in this town has been very, very bold, I guess is what the word is. I mean, it's not a farming community anymore. It's turning more into a suburban town, and that's what sucks about big companies coming in. But at the same time, I understand economics. I understand that that's what they're trying to do to make more money. It's just, farming is hard, but it's really hard when you're competing against corporations. I guess that's really what I'm trying to get at. And I will miss this bridge. I will miss going by down this bridge. I just think it's a good looking bridge. I do love the Mississippi River. All the boats floating down. I don't know. This area really grew on me very quickly, and it's going to be sad to go, but at the end of the day, that things have to happen. Anyway, I'm going to pick this up when I get closer to Justin's, but yeah, a very different day here in the UMRV. Alright, so just up here, and really struggling to get up here with this baler. I'm not going to lie, this tractor really doesn't like when we come up this hill with this baler, but it's going to have to live with it because this is the only way that we can get up here. But I am going to hopefully get up the hill. Let's not take anything for granted right now. Nothing is assumed as we are really laboring up this hill. Justin lives right around the corner here, so we won't have to do this for too much longer, and I think we finally broke here. I think we're actually going to be making it. We won't go backwards, which is a good news, but I'm going to bale up all of this hay because we're going to have to sell it, and this will be, I think, the last amount of money that we make from this farm. But we're not going to make anything unless we get to it. So let's get to this hay, and then I guess we'll have to figure out what to tell Justin.